One. Hey there, how's it going? Let's talk about Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly with Katrina. What's going on?
Nothing. Hey, I was just on my Facebook.
You were? Yeah, I don't have Facebook. I've graduated from Facebook.
Right.
Facebook
Good for you.
stinks. Yeah, it's boring. Anyway, so what were you saying about I knew that Megan Fox is with Machine Gun Kelly. I only know that because I believe he performed at like the Super Bowl or something, or the NBA All-Star game, or I don't know. He did something sports related, and I realized that thing was Machine Gun Kelly. So what's going on with them?
No, I was at some friends of mine in my old one of the cities that I've lived at. They're just talking about how they saw him at the bar or at somebody's work. He's there right now.
Okay.
Maybe more talking about how he's
Are you rubbing the phone up against something or walking with something?
Yeah.
Talking.
Oh, I was scrolling through the Facebooks.
All right, yeah, don't do that.
Okay.
All right, so what we're doing here is we're doing an MLB algorithm preview for Sunday, but it's so boring to talk about just baseball that I'm gonna have the baseball stuff going on in the background. And really what we need to do is we need to make Katrina some money. So we need to come up with a round robin bet, right? How much money do you need to make tomorrow?
As much as possible.
Well, I flirted with thousands of dollars today. Didn't get there, but a lot of review of the algorithm was really helpful in coming up with some picks. They were live picks, but anyway, algorithm was pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll try to wager $31.80 on a 17 round robin. The question is, what are we gonna do? And as I look through here, what are some of the lessons you've learned about like which team should I be looking at? Which team should I be betting on? But with all these videos you watch, what's your answer to that question on the list?
So the higher power teams,
Yep.
Along with the margin.
Yes, exactly. We're looking at power now as well, team power. It worked out really well yesterday, and it did some good things. These teams covered, Dodgers covered both times. So you look at both the margin here and the power here on the screen. And she can't see the screen. Katrina can't see the screen, but we're going to talk anyway. So it says by power, it's the Dodgers again. It's your lovely Dodgers. Once again against San Diego. Clayton Kershaw going, Dodgers going for the sweep. Dodgers at -189. All right. Well, let's start digging into the Dodger game. And it says 4.5 to 2.5 runs. Clayton Kershaw, excellent pitcher. Mackenzie Gore, also a good pitcher. So this is just like today. Really good Dodger lineup is supposed to beat a pretty good San Diego team. Says they barely cover -1.5, but they are at home. So what do I say about taking teams -1.5 at home?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. So given this game here, it says they go under the 8 that it's saying, but the Dodgers to win at -189, if you're looking for winners, which is what you're supposed to be doing when you're betting round robins. Not all of them have to have great payouts. You got to have winners. One of the big extreme live betting ones I had yesterday had Texas at -260 on here. It's like, what are you doing there, Kenny? I was like, I thought they were going to win. They were up by 2. And I guess I was like, it's not that bad of a line for up by 2 in a game that the algorithm says they're going to win. So I put it on there. Point is Dodgers at -189. It's kind of the only thing you can really do there because it doesn't say they score a ton of runs. So that's one. Remember that. Remember your LA Dodgers are number 1. All right. Next, Houston. Also bad line against a bad team in the Angels. Says Houston puts up 6 runs, which is the second most runs of all the teams on the list today. For some reason, the Cubs are supposed to put up 9 against Boston. I got to figure out what's going on there. That can't be right. Yeah, Connor Siebold's got to be changed. Got to change that. God, he's terrible anyway. What's wrong with that guy? It's one guy, this pitcher on Boston screws up stats for everything. And now they win with him. Oh, God, what do you do with that game? All right, Boston, Chicago, we don't bet that game, Katrina, okay? You okay with that? So that means I'm actually ready to almost pull it off the list of things that we look at. Hopefully we'll just be left with our round robin teams. So Houston is up there as the biggest margin game and the second biggest team power game. So clearly we have to do something with Houston against the Angels. It says the score of that game is going to be 7-2. It's a lot. So what do we do? What do you want to do with Houston? You ever been to Houston?
No.
Me neither. I don't think I've ever actually, I drove through it once when I went to Austin.
Actually, I might have had a layover there. I don't remember now. But yeah, no, I did get out the airport.
Yeah, okay, well, all right. So airports don't count. I have, yeah, so nobody's been to Houston. Well, I'm looking at the line. The line's minus 222, and they're already down to minus 230, and they're home. So the over-under for the game is 8. So it's starting to look like Houston team runs is the bet because of Jose Suarez's 4.36 ERA. Es demasiado grande. And his whip is bad. So he's got some red stats on the pitcher line. So that means that Houston probably puts up runs. And you can get over 4.5 runs, which it says Houston clears that by 2 for minus 115. So we're going to put that on there. So this is Houston. It's over 4.5 runs, Houston at minus 115. All right. So that's another big one. The algorithm says go for it. All right. So we got.
Yeah, I was there for the airport because I was confused. I thought it was I thought that's where they had NASA and everything, and they were like, no, it's just where the control center is. I had no idea. I thought there was space shuttles there.
That's true. Oh, yeah, gosh, talk about why I want to go now. I want to go to Austin. I want to go to Austin and look at the Tesla Cybertruck factory, and I want to go to Houston to look at whatever the Cape Canaveral of Texas, whatever is there. Houston, we have a problem. I want to know where that problem was, or who they were talking to when they had that problem. All right. Speaking of problems, Cleveland is a problem. But not only was their Indian name difficult, that they are now Guardians. They're not guarding any victories, and the Yankees are walking all over them. It was combined. I think the Yankees put up like 20 runs on them yesterday. It says Yankees are only minus 161 as the third pick of the day. The margin is only 12%. But they're the strong power. That's not a bad line, and they're away. So what does it say the score of that game is? It says the score of that game is right here, 4.6-2, because Tristan McKenzie, the pitcher for Cleveland's he's not great, not that great. It's not that great. Now, I don't know why. Yeah, this is a good line. Says the Yankees cover minus 1.5 on the road. So do you take that, or do you take the Yankees to win only minus 161? Well, I'm looking at lines, and I think if you get a good line at the Yankees minus 1.5, that's what you're supposed to do. It's plus 102. Should we do it? I think we should do it. Should we do it? Yankees to win or Yankees minus 1.5. They're on the road, which is why you can entertain the Yankees minus 1.5.
Do you? I would take minus 1.5. I thought I don't know. Like if it was like the Houston game 7-2, like that difference in the projected score is bigger. So that's kind of how I judge the minus 1.5.
So there's only a 2.6 run differential between what it says the score of the Yankees Cleveland game is going to be, 4.6-2. So it thinks that Tristan McKenzie guy can hold the Yankees to fewer runs than the other pitchers did, I guess, in the previous 2 games. But I mean, there's also wind and weather that I haven't looked up yet. And if there's wind blowing out in Cleveland, see here, it looks like 78%, 78 degrees, 9 mile per hour. Doesn't tell you what direction. It says the Yankees win by more than 1.5 though. So it says that. And you're really asking yourself, do you want to pay the minus 161 line, or do you want to get a better, really a much better line at plus 102 to have the Yankees win the game by 2? And my assessment of that is because they are on the road, and it is easier to win a game by more than 1.5 runs on the road because of the nature of being home and games being close at the end, that I will do that with a team on the road. And you don't want to do it with a team at home like Minnesota yesterday on Saturday, because they were at home and they came back to win late, but they only win by 1. Same thing with Detroit, wins by 1. So you would never take the minus 1.5 at home. It's too difficult. So I'm going to put Yankees minus 1.5 on there at plus 102. It's the third pick. So I want to get some better lines on here. Next, it says the Mets. It says the Mets over Texas. They're the 4th best power. I'll put the Boston game back on here, even though I don't want to bet it. The Mets, I'm a Mets fan, so I'm partial. Says they put up 4.7 runs. Says the score of that game is, wow, extremely close. 4.5 to 4.2, but don't always totally listen to score. 6% margin. Carlos Carrasco's got a bad ERA, but he is winning. So there's supposed to be runs in a game here like this because Texas will potentially hit Carrasco and the Mets will have to score more to win, and they can because they have offense. So this 4.5 to 4.2, the over-under is 8 or 8.5. What's the weather there? Because keep in mind, it says kind of take the Mets to win at home, but 5 mile per hour, 82 degrees is kind of warm. The over, I'm looking on the phone now at what the over-under is for that game because I'm tempted to bet over because of what I just said about Carrasco getting hit and the Mets having to score more to come back. That's making sense that there are more runs there. So it's set at 8.5 at minus 102. So the rule about over-unders that I've been learning is don't get super greedy and try to take a really, really high alternate line. Get reasonable with the algorithms. The algorithm says 4-4 tie that Mets edge out, I guess 5-4. But the hot weather could mean some more Pete Alonso home runs. So if you go over 9.5, it's plus 150, and that's only one more run. I'm doing that. Over 9.5. So this is over 9.5, New York Mets versus Texas, Texas versus New York Mets. And it's plus 150. That's the 4th pick. And I'm noticing we're just going down the line, picking a lot of the games from the top, but there's a lot of games to bet. So you can actually make multiple round robins on the day. So we'll go through every game and see if we find any better picks, actually. Toronto, Tampa Bay. Toronto's only minus 128, 5th best power, 13% margin. Why does it like them so much? Because Ross Stripling's pretty good and Shane Baz is weird. Yeah, Shane Baz's pitching sets are weird. But that is up there, and it says they win by almost 2 runs, and they're only minus 128. I don't know how you don't take them. Ross Stripling's 4-2. It says take them. All right, so that's Toronto minus 128. It's on there. And next, Minnesota over Baltimore, super low margin at 3%. Devin Smeltzer, didn't he? He does pitch well. The line is not good down here. I'm going to stay away from this game because the margin is so low, even though the power is better. It's too close and the line's not good. Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. Milwaukee has a 21% margin again, but their power is only at 22 today. It says they get up 5.6 runs. So it's calling for runs in this game. Let's see what that game looks like. How bored are you right now?
No, I was actually thinking about powers, like how I know like oftentimes I'll see like 32% power or something, and I'm like, that's a really high power.
Mm-hmm.
But then I question, like I guess I don't know, the 20% is that like that's a pretty good. Like I see that as a top powers a lot of the time too. But like, and then I don't know. I just had a question about like the 12% power, and then like the differences between like, like you had 32% versus like versus another team that's 20%. Like, is it like I'd rather not bet that over like a team or a matchup that's like, like 17% over 2% or something, because that sounds like a 2% power is like really low or something.
Exactly.
So like,
yeah. But I think the power percentage, it changes based on what our distribution of all the variables are up at the top. So it's kind of a fluctuating metric, and I wouldn't get too caught up on the negative power as much as the comparison in the power numbers, because really negative numbers means the team's just bad. But the difference between two really bad teams is not always significant. But the difference between a really good team and other teams is significant. Like teams that play to win, that are good at winning, are better at winning. Teams that aren't good at winning, you don't know which one is going to win. So two bad teams, like the matchup of the two worst teams is one of these like Kansas City, Detroit games. It says a -2 versus a -3 is what it is on here. And actually the algorithm does, I think, appropriately put it way down as one of the middle picks of the day, because it's a super even game between really bad teams. It's interesting to look at it that way. But let's get back to Milwaukee for a second, because as you were discussing power there, I was looking at these ERAs for these pitchers that are orange, and Brandon Woodruff, the pitcher from Milwaukee, is 6-3. He wins 60% of his games. That's excellent. And even though his ERA is a little high, he's been winning games, whatever. So it says that Milwaukee wins this game 6-3. And the over-under is set at 7.5, because they see Woodruff, I guess, I don't know why. That is way too low. This team's just put up 11 again. Weird. So what's the weather in Pittsburgh tomorrow? You ever been to Pittsburgh? Of course you have. You must have been to Pittsburgh.
I actually don't think I've ever. Wait, I've driven through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, did you stop? Did you stop in between one of the three rivers? 79 degrees. Pretty good weather. There's no reason there shouldn't be runs in Pittsburgh. I was in Cannonsville buying near Pittsburgh, buying 2 wooden hockey sticks earlier this year on a trip cross country. Nice area. Anyway, so point is Milwaukee's supposed to cover in that game, and there's supposed to be more than 7.5 runs in that game. Like that game already says 8.2, and both these guys' ERAs are 4.5. So like, yes, why you have to bet over 7.5 there. I was gonna say do an alternate over, but don't do an alternate over. Just bet over 7.5, because they're really supposed to get there, even though it says only 8. But it just seems extra. 7.5 is kind of a low over under. So you want to take advantage of this. That's only -106. I'm putting it on there because just, I don't know. Maybe that's one of those things where I have bad instincts and that's going to lose, but I don't know. It just seems good. So I'm putting that on there at -106. Then we have one more pick to do to get a complete round robin, or we could keep going through games to see if we find something crazy and better, which we might. Philly and St. Louis is a toss-up. Completely at no margin. So I guess let's look at that. Now I'll ignore it to shorten the video. Atlanta and Cincinnati. Charlie Morton's rough ERA, 20%. It's only -149. Atlanta's a good team. Cincinnati stinks. It says Atlanta wins 5-3. Charlie Morton's ERA is bad, but Cincinnati stinks. So it does. Okay, get this. It doesn't say they win by 1.5 runs. It says they win by 1.4 runs. So even though all runs are rounded to 1, I still trust that variance. And I'm like, well, it doesn't say they're going to win by 1.5, so I won't take them -1.5, but I would take Atlanta to win at -149, because they're probably going to win that game. Charlie Morton might give up some runs, but they're probably going to still find a way to win like they did today. So Atlanta minus 149. All right. You can make a $31.80 bet. I mean, no, about $30 what the subscription to the Google Sheet is for a month. You can make like a $31.80 bet. If you want to make it 30, you can make it 30. 29. That's 70, whatever. Yeah, like $30.05 bet pays $555. How about that? And these are all pretty solid picks. I said over 9. Yeah, I said alternate over 9.5 Texas. Now, these are not all premium picks. There's so many other games to go over. And when I finally update and confirm lineups tomorrow, there's a bunch of other things that are going to become apparent when I update the Google Sheet. And I'll be like, oh, there's something else, or oh, there's a different pitcher, or oh, something's going on. And I would be like, no, this is better. This is better. This is what the final look is. And I'll have a chance to review pitcher innings, like that Connor Siebold guy and the whole Boston situation. There might be something to do there. Like I got to look it all over and really spend time, not on a video. But I don't know if I'm going to do that because I'm going to be running moldy trash back and forth to the dump all morning. So I may not be available. I'm sorry, people. We'll just have to go with the expecteds. I mean, how did you digest your picks that you got from me today? What did you watch a video when I did a video when the games were already going on, I think today, right? Or did you watch the preview from the night before? I did like multiple videos.
Right. I think I probably the one from the night before.
Yeah, so the people are going to be forming their opinions they bet on Saturday, probably off this video, because I probably don't get another one up before the game start. However, if you subscribe to the Google Sheet, you will see it because I will find a way to get up confirmed lineup somehow before the noon games start. I'll just take a break and open up the computer and just do it. It's going to take like half an hour, but I think it needs to be done because there's so many lineups that are going to be confirmed at like 11:30, 8:30 a.m. West Coast time. Like you gotta do it. So I will. All right. So yeah. So point is we did come up with something that is okay, and that's the logic for it. And certainly one thing, one interesting thing that it says is, your big picks are once again the Dodgers, Angels, Yankees, Mets. Minnesota is too close to call. That's what this is saying. Too close to call. And what are things also where the team doesn't have a really strong power strength, but the odds makers have a really bad line for them? That's what I don't know. Where are the worst lines at the bottom here? Also, we're missing a couple lines on a couple games anyway. But it looks like, yeah, Minnesota is lower down. Milwaukee is lower down. But I said take the over 7.5 anyway. Yeah, once again, creating more runs if Milwaukee has to try to score runs to come back. So that's why I do like taking that over 7.5 instead of taking Milwaukee. I like what we did there. I went top down like I'm supposed to and made a play on the games that were confirming things. So even though this is a very rudimentary look at tomorrow, and there are better picks than this at better lines when you do more research, this is pretty good. And this actually will probably win you money. So how many of these 7 do you have to hit, Katrina? I say make this bet. I'm going to make you make this bet tonight. You're going to do that for me? Oh, you can't. That's right, because you have to bet a minimum $1. Sorry, I'll tell you what you're betting is, say you're betting $35 tomorrow. Just bet the 4s on this. Pays $436.53. $35. All right. That's awesome, right? $400 would be awesome. If you lose, I hate predicting this. If you lose one game, you get $151. If you lose 2 games, you get $47. So if you go 5-2, you still make money most likely. But if you go 4-3, now you only get $10 back, and now you're going to start to be in trouble. And you get nothing if you go 3-4. So are you going to do better than 5-2 or better tomorrow? Can you promise me that?
I don't know.
Maybe. Looking at these picks, 5-2 is very reasonable expectation actually for these picks. Yeah, because I mean Atlanta's supposed to win. I'm a little freaked out about Toronto because they've been having trouble with Tampa Bay. Let me get Toronto off there. I don't just they don't pass my smell test. Everything else here over 9.5. I wanted to put an alternate over on here because I like their lines, and so the question is which I'm gonna talk forever. I'm gonna talk forever. Do you want to talk to me forever? Do you really?
Not at like super late at night.
No, I know I'm tired. I'm tired too. I'm literally going to clean more. I'm not even gonna. I don't think I'm gonna sleep tonight. I think I'm just gonna clean and stack more trash because it is the world's. It is Hoarders 2.0. I've never seen just accumulation of decades of trash. Like, oh god. Anyway, no, we're good. We're good. We've talked enough baseball. Feeling good. What do you want to say to everyone? I'm sure they're fans of yours. If every time we do videos, we start hitting big round robins. Guess I'm leaving this right around here. Yep. Anything else? Should we let everybody go?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Bye.
Let's let everybody go. All right, guys. Everybody, may all your picks be winning like they hopefully did today.